Well, how's my Leathercraft family on a Wednesday afternoon? I hope everybody is doing good. Seeing some great names pop up, y'all. Thanks for making this what it is. Folks that are new, come on in. Yeah, you'll see. You'll be surprised. You are coming into a great group of folks, Leathercrafters. I don't know if it's the glue we breathe or the dye or the satellite. We're just happy. That's just a happy group of people. Always happy to help. Absolutely. Drop in a question. You'll see what I mean. But new folks, you're absolutely welcome to join us here. In fact, you're part of the reason we're doing this. Also, I think we're coming up on 2 years. I think 2 years doing the lives. The point is, and the boss is gonna go, oh gosh, not again. We're gonna give something away on the anniversary. I'm gonna talk to the boss, and boss, if that's not okay, I'll pay for it. I'm happy to. Maybe I can come up with another poster or something like that because that's hard to find. Way back in my early days, the place where I bought my leather had the coolest poster. It was a 5 inch poster, and it was a cowboy with a steer out in the. It was a. I always I couldn't find bling, decorations for my shop. Always hard to find. So I'm gonna see if I can't come up with something good. Maybe one, two, or three items. We'll see. I know the boss just went, oh crap, la la la. I'll do my best to see if we can do something for our anniversary. We'll do a giveaway. We'll come up with something cool. I'll find something. I even put it. It is now on my to-do list, the official to-do list. So we got some cool stuff to talk about, look at, but we got to start right here. Let's jump over here. Kind of warm here because Susan M., I saw your comment. It's called. It's 18 degrees up there. I'm sorry. I hope y'all are made for that. Y'all live with it. You know how to deal with it. I'm glad, but I bet it is beautiful nonetheless. Jerry King's first one in our shop today, but everybody, welcome to my shop. I'm glad you're here. Let's see, Carrie always giving us a smile. Daniel reaches with us. Nice. Lane, very cool. Lane, hello, right back to London, all the way across the pond. Lane, I promised you and Chris Gould, if I win the lottery, I'm coming over. I'm coming over. We're going to have a cold beer and a big steak. We're going to eat. We're going to visit. I just haven't won that lottery yet. I don't buy a lot of tickets, but when it gets to the big numbers, got to drop 20, right? Got it. It's the worst investment possible. Try telling the person that wins $500 million that it was a bad investment, right? They're $8, right? But anyway, that's the deal. If I win the lottery, I'm on my way. I'm on my way and we'll visit. So let's see who else we got coming in here. Ontario Custom Leather, glad to see it. Let's see, I had about 36 seconds since my last coffee. Yeah, because Carrie, all impressed. Excellent discipline. What was it? 369 days without caffeine or coffee. Absolutely. And I'm such a coffee drinker. I really, my wife and I make a pot late in the afternoon every day. And I think that started when I worked away from home. I'd always make a pot of coffee, so I had a cup of coffee, on the drive home. Uh, but let's see. All right, Daniel's got some paint drying. Let's see. Ontario Custom Leather. Yeah, I'm a night owl by nature, but I have a job that often has me starting at 7 a.m. Yeah, that's early. Coffee is essential. That's exactly right. What's the most important thing about Leathercraft? Yeah, coffee. That's what helps. That's what motivates me. James Sackington. James, always good to see your name pop up. It really is. Always make me feel good. Ron Dowdy is with us. Ron, hope you're all right. Scott Sabo. Scott, good to see your name pop up. Let's see. Oh, bless your heart. Now that makes me feel good. I hope I'm worth it. I'm unworthy. Let's see. Okay, Pam Watson, mate, I'll be listening while I work up an agenda for a work meeting. Yuck. Agreed. Boo. Meetings are the worst waste of time I've ever seen, but it's one of those evil necessities, right? You got to have them. Night for Today is with us. Night for Today. Greetings all from Southern Indiana. What's on your bitch? I'm stitching a Ranger belt. Oh, it's on the list. It's on the list. There are so many things out there, and I walk through my shop all the time. Like, oh, we got to do a video on that. We got to do on video. You should see my dry erase board. It's a big board. It's like 3x4 or something. It's just 4 lists, top to bottom, small writing of project ideas. There's so many. Welcome to Leathercraft. I mean, literally, welcome to Leathercraft. Unlimited possibilities. And here's one because I've got the best shoulder holster pattern ever. And I've made my wife one and I've got one. It's the best going. So many plays. Again, there's so many things. This is on the list. But if you've ever worn a shoulder holster, it is a dream. Well, first off, this one crosses your back. So it's behind you. If you got a jacket on, you never see anything. But the best part, both sides connect to your belt. You literally can do jumping jacks with this shoulder holster on, and it never budges. You don't even know it's on there. Extremely comfortable. So many ideas, so many things we can do. We're going to look at another one here. Got some good videos. Well, okay. Again, I'll let y'all gravity took over. I'll let y'all make that call, but I hope we got some good videos coming up. Got some fun stuff to look at too. So, okay, let's see. We're in that long no holiday stretch. Everybody in that, it's like from January to May. We have Good Friday off. Hallelujah. But yeah, short of that, it's a long stretch before we get back in holidays. But the good news, let's see. Okay, the solstice was December 20th. So we're like 40 days, maybe we're like 40 days, 40 minutes longer to our summer. Yay, glad for that. We're having kind of a lighter summer right now in the South. It's kind of in the mid 50s, upper 30s, but after that cold spell, 10 degrees, I'm ready for summer again. So anyway, and I know y'all on the other side are going, man, I can't wait for it to cool off some. I'm with you. I complain in the spring and I complain in the fall, right? All right, it's winter and summer. That's when I complain. Never happy. Never happy. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, 2 years. We're coming up on 2 years. I know I'm trying to read my notes. Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's see. Jump back over here. Yeah, there's Susan M, 18 degrees. Oh, man, chasing trails outdoors. I'm glad to see your name pop up. And that comment means the world to me. It really does. Comments like that make my day. And I'm so happy. But just from that comment, it sounds like you're having fun with it. That's the point. That's the point. Very cool. Let's see. Okay. Dane, I was happy once. Dane, I'm sorry about that. Maybe we can make that return. Let's see. Okay, here's one. J2G Leather Goods, our first craft show is this weekend. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to say a prayer. Good luck on that one. Break a leg. We call it a show, but it's not really a show. So I don't know if break a leg works or not. I just always feel like I need to say that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Hope you have great sales, and I hope you have a great time, and I hope people love your stuff. I hope everybody that walks by your booth goes, wow, this is beautiful work. That's what we're all going to hope for. So good on that one. Let's see. Pam Watson, I get President's Day off. Well, cool. And celebrate the heck out of St. Party's Day. That's it. Well, there are a few in there. Not official, I guess, but a few in there. Oh, man. Carrie, let's see, with the cold weather, I've had to go through Texas. I will never again complain when I am in the triple digits. I'm with you, man. But I tell you, last summer doing the Waco show, it was hot. It was like I was driving home across mid Texas, beautiful between like Waco and Corsicana, gorgeous. I mean, that is stereotypical Texas, beautiful. Boy, open the window, stick your hand up, felt like you were sticking your hand in an oven. Oh, y'all in Waco, Central Texas. I hope y'all have gotten some rain again. Uh, Oh man, Ontario Custom Leather, 2 weeks. We will be celebrating our 25th anniversary. Nice. For our 20th, we went to Jamaica. The last few years have been rough. Bless your heart. For this one, all we can afford to do is go out for a nice supper. Yeah, we're kind of the same. Inflation. Oh, it's 8%. No, it's not. It's 30%. And we're all suffering. I heat my shop with kerosene. Um, and up to 2 years ago, it was kind of more of a headache to go get it. I've got five-gallon containers, so I can get 25 gallons at a time. Well, it used to be just a pain in the butt going to get it. $7.69 a gallon. Do you believe it? From 305, 310 in 24 months, it's doubled. It's gotten to where it's expensive to heat my shop. Is that ridiculous? That's it. Anyway. Okay. Oh, 8626 John. Well, hello right back to you, John. Thanks for your videos and your enthusiasm. Bless your heart, John. Those comments mean more than you know. They really do. A lot of it, again, is coffee. A lot of it's coffee. It's a lot. It's a lot of coffee. I probably drank half a Columbia by now. Yeah. So anyway, but John, thank you nonetheless. Real, very, very nice. Let's see. Christopher Brooks, San Antonio here. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the big numbers, the triple digits. That's exactly right. Omar Leathercraftsman. Good evening, everyone. Omar, good evening right back to you. Glad you're with us. Come on in. Glad to have you here. Uh let's see. Let's see. Knockout Vinyl, Leathery, and Bushcraft. Well, first off, glad you're here. Good to see your name pop up. Glad you're joining us. I can't find anything on a lantern protector. Are you talking more about like the backing, or like a carrier? I'm a big camper. Never thought about that. If that's what you're talking about, wow, there's two projects right off the bat, just out of left field. Thanks for bringing those up. Um, let's see. Yeah, y'all, there's so many comments that go by. I can't answer them all, and I'm sorry about that. But I'll see one. Some will jump out, and I'll forget. I'll try to go back to find it, and I can't find it. But let's see, Sam Lee. It was a question on pricking irons are typically more refined work. They leave a smaller hole. You can have very close spacing too. Sam, I thank you for helping out, y'all. Anybody that answers a question, thanks for helping out. But also, anybody asking a question, that's what this is about. Let's trade some information here. Um, Thank you, Sam, again for helping out. Uh, Pam Watson, stupid autocorrect. Yeah, I'd have to say. Let's see. Let's see. Was that Angel Yusha? Very nice. Glad to see your name pop up. Hi, Chuck. Thanks for the Angelus paint antique idea. Oh, is that not cool? Oh, yeah, the mixing with the neutral. Now I have two projects sitting waiting to decide what color. Okay, I'm not laughing at two projects set. I'm laughing because it's the same problem I have. I can't. There's so many possibilities. How many? Okay, because all right, perfect example. Thank you for bringing that up. So on the fan page, and we'll come back to that, is probably going to be the most beautiful chess set I've ever seen. But just finished a video last week, okay? Because so here's where we're going with this. So we've got a chessboard. Is that not beautiful? The suede squares. Anyway, oh, okay. So just with the suede, we just cut out squares. In the video, go into all kinds of cool ideas. Filigree cut. Oh, filigree with the stamp. Oh, I wanted to go that route. But anyway, before I get off track, that's just a handful of our suede colors. I mean, we can take veg and stamp and tool and all kinds, but it's striking. It's striking. And now I want to see the lavender and gray. I would love to see both the hot pink and the light pink. Oh, the turquoise and something and a traditional, just like the traditional two colors, brown and rust. Wouldn't that be? So now I need to make like 8 of these, right? Right. So Angel, that's exactly right. There's so many possibilities that it's almost it almost keeps us from making projects sometimes. I got 2 over there that I can't decide on exactly the right design. It's not like we can't make more, right? It's like you can only make one and that's it for the rest of your life. It's not that way. So again, in Leathercraft, the problem isn't a lack of options. It's that there are so many options, they're overwhelming. They're absolutely overwhelming. So, but nonetheless, I'm glad you joined us. Glad you're with us today. Uh, that was it. Okay, so night for today. Responding to Josh. Let's see. I've spent 2 weeks making a cabinet, hand planing the whole. Oh, a boat. Oh goodness, somebody's making a boat. Is that Josh making a boat? Anyway, that's wow. Anyway, let me back up because that was another comment on the chessboard. This is just on like some subflooring. We put feet on it. But anyway, my neighbor is a woodworker, and I'm just dying to get him to do like to route a nice base. I could probably route. Anyway, oh, so many ways to go with that. I was just scratching the surface, like with everything. Okay, so yeah, I know. All right, that one will be out not this Friday, but a week from Friday. And we'll come back. I got all the videos coming up. I'm ahead. I'm finally ahead. I'm like 4 weeks ahead. If I could get another video out by Friday, I think I'm 5 weeks ahead. That's okay. That's good because show season is not coming up fast. But I think once mid May hits, big news. We haven't even gotten there yet. It's on my script. Retail store opening date. We'll get to that here in just a second. I know because I was on something. I hate to forget what I was talking about. I think that's irritating. Anyway, yeah, it is to me too. But anyway, so May got the grand opening, and then a week later is Sheridan, and then like a week and a half later is Blade Show. So I got to be ahead for those because I've only got like 4 days in the shop over a 3-week period. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, not me. It's us. Let's see. All right, let me catch up here. Let's see. Is that Will Salas? Will, glad you're with us. You got me into making leather crafts with my kids. Thanks for being such a great instructor. Bless your. What a great place to connect. And it almost perpetuates the craft, which is great for all of us, but it's more personal. To me, it seems like there are less and less places for us to connect with our kids. It seems less and less. And if we can connect in the leather shop, how cool is that? That is a win-win-win. But we go even further than that because how many of us worked on just something in high school? And for me, it was we did little leather wristbands. So we'd take an order, right? This was in like shop or something. We'd take an order, get their initials, and we'd stamp their initials on the wristband and then deliver it. It was like $1 or something, right? Raising money for the shop. I still remember that. And I almost wonder. Now, I don't think that's actually why I got back into leathercraft. It was more the Renaissance fair. But for a lot of people, when we start to get in like our mid-30s, we're into a career and we're done partying, right? We're done doing the clubbing and whatnot. We got a house, probably a family. Well, things start to kind of even out for us. Well, let's look back. What have we done in our life that we absolutely enjoyed? Leather pops right up because it's inexpensive to get going. In fact, I jumped out of leather. Let's see, I worked on leather through college, and then I got out of college and went to work at Turner Broadcasting, and I was a metro traffic anchor in Atlanta, did the traffic reports. So I kind of walked away from it. Well, somewhere like maybe late 20s, started going back to the Ren fairs. I think but started going back, and it started to relight that love of the leather. Started working on leather again, been at it ever since. So with your kids, maybe it's going to be exactly the same way. But think about this. I know I'm rolling. I'm on a rant, but it's a good years down the road. And God forbid anything happen. But when we're no longer on this planet, they're going to work leather maybe, and they're going to think about you. How cool is that? Yeah. So, okay. So where are we? Let's see. Oh man. So many great comments. Oh, Sam Lee. Okay. Check out the art of boat building. Oh man. I didn't grow up around water. Been on, the lake, and we've been water skiing and, boating on the lakes, but the big ocean, the big blue, it's not, I do not have much experience out there to love to sail. I'd love to learn how to sail. The wind and the ropes and the sails. And I know I would love doing that. We're just not close to water. We're just not close to water. Let's see. Okay, Michael S. Let me see if I can answer a question here. I'm trying to figure out how Michael S. Sorry, Michael. Trying to figure out how double cap rivets are sized. I've got a couple sets on Amazon, and they are too long. I do bags and wallets mostly. Michael, see if this helps because I almost don't use anything but the double caps. So at Weaver, we've got 3 sizes: 1/4 inch, 5/16, and 7/16. So it's kind of like maybe 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. So the 1/4 inch, it's a smaller cap, smaller base, smaller post. Now, in my experience, these are interchangeable. I wouldn't rely on these for weight, but like say we're using these as a decoration, and they make great decoratives because they go on pretty easy. Um, like just say maybe a line of rivets down the middle of a belt looks great. Um, but you can use a larger cap on a smaller post and a smaller cap on a larger post. Now, smaller cap, larger post, I'm not for decoration, that's fine. I might not put stretch on that because what happens is with the double caps, they go into the cap and they spread. That's what holds the whole thing together. If you've ever popped one apart and only the cap comes out and you're no further along at getting that leather apart, that's what it is. So I think the small cap's not going to give that a longer post room to spread into that cap. So I question that. But again, the medium and the large, those caps are interchangeable. And the big point there is I'm out of medium caps and I need one, or I'm out of large posts. So yeah, you can work with those. They're a little bit interchangeable, but roughly there's a small, a medium, and a large. Also, I've had some folks ask me from time to time if can we cut those down. It doesn't work. I've tried it. They crush. It's just a mess. It's a disappointing mess. So, um, my opinion is I just keep. Actually, I've got. We won't look at it, but I've got one of those organizers. 18 drawers. That's my rivets because I've got small, medium, and large in 6 different finishes. Another great thing about Weaver, all kinds of beautiful finishes on our rivets. So Michael, I hope that helps. I hope that's good information for you. Uh, Yeah, Josh. It sounds like it's cold where Josh is. Yeah. Oh, Chris Gould is with us. Oh, that's right. Chris is a woodworker. I know, Chris. Take that chessboard and run with that one. Uh, oh man, Zach Morris. Oh, Zach, glad you're with us. It's a longer question here, but I saw a fighter pilot. I saw pilots. My dad was a pilot, Marine Corps fighter pilot. And I've actually got his original flight jacket, leather fur. Yeah, and all his patches, his cruise patches. Let's see. Okay. Solana Devon, will you be at Dragon Con? I don't think I'll be at Dragon Con this year. Haven't heard from him, but I don't think I'll be there. Mainly last year, I kind of got over overshowed over the summer. I don't know if they're going to call me back, but so it's up in the air, but probably not this year. Um, let's see. Okay, Zach, back to it. Hey, Chuck, I'm trying to get into making leather name tags for Navy pilot jackets with hand painted wings. Oh, and the call sign stamped under it. What sealing product do you recommend for no smearing? I like the leather balm. It's just one of my all-time favorites, but let that paint dry. Let it dry. Let it get good and try it. Now, okay, jumping forward, because in the videos, I just finished a video on using Sadillac. Can't believe I haven't done one on this yet. It's my favorite. It's my favorite top coat, but I get a lot of questions. Well, it's your favorite top coat, but you never use it in videos. Mainly that's because it takes a couple of tricks to get it to work just right, and they're easy tricks. There's nothing tricky about it. But when you get it right, it's just, I mean, you can like let's say a briefcase, you got 2 gussets and a big piece. You can top coat a briefcase in like 12 seconds, and it's dry in a minute and a half, and it's a nice low gloss if you do it right. Anyway, the point is, I'm thinking, now it's moved on. Sorry about that. Zach, um, I might even say Sadillac. Now, it's not a sealant, it's not a conditioner, but the point is that it's the best thing in the world if we want to add paint because we don't have to rub. We don't have to buff. We don't have to rub a liquid onto that, which is always an issue with paints. Um, you just spray it on and walk away, and it's beautiful every time. I'm trying to think of something that I have at hand that's done with Sadillac. Yeah, it's all the way over there because I just did a video on it. Anyway, that might be a good idea, Sadillac, but that video, crap, I don't have my schedule with me, my calendar with me. That might be 3 weeks out. That might be 3 weeks out. Um, but the Sadillac is great. Just you got to have good ventilation. Um, but the leather balm is my favorite. It's my close second favorite to the Sadillac, and I sometimes use that simply because it enriches the dye color. Where Satellite's not going to change your dye color. It's going to enrich it a little bit, give it a little gloss, make it look much prettier. But the Leather Balm, it's a close second there because it's so pretty. It's so pretty, and it enriches the dye color. It's got a little bit of wax in it. With Satellite, it's a lacquer base. The Leather Balm's got a little wax in it, which never hurts. Never hurts the leather. Those are my two options, or those are my two opinions there. I think one of those will work for you. Absolutely. So Zach, that's cool. You put one of these on the fan page, and let's just toss that out there. If you're not familiar with the fan page, it's on Facebook. It's the Chuck Dorsett fan page. Take a picture of that, Zach, because I would love to see those and put them up on the fan page. And if you haven't been to that, you're going to be surprised because, oh, I know I keep jumping around today. Hey, screw it. It's my live, right? Because Verna Coley, go to the fan page. You are going to fall over backwards. It made me feel like underachiever here with my chess set. She's tooling a chess set, and it is gorgeous. Wow, Celtic knot. She's tooling every other 64 squares. Okay, that's what when I started this project, thought, crap, we got to cut 64 squares. We do it, and it's easy. And they actually, and I mean, all told, because we got it. I was scared about this one because, I mean, notice they just fit perfectly in there. I have no qualms, and it was so easy to lay those in there, so very clean. But Vernon's got one, so you got to go to the fan page. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful work. So, all right. So anyway, oh, see, I forgot where I was. Well, I don't think it was anywhere important, was it? I don't think it was anywhere important. I just keep jumping ahead because that came out. Oh, and another point to that too, right? Okay, and this is funny because I always, before I start a video, I make one. Make a pattern, make one. Typically needs a couple of, some changes, minor changes, but at the same time, it needs to be to where I can explain it, right? It's not too complicated, and that because it's not y'all, it's me explaining it. Right. Anyway, so on the chessboard, didn't make one, didn't make a prototype, made the prototype in the video. So I was real happy it came out as well as it did. And that's also why I'm a little bit surprised about that. And we keep looking at it. Anyway, I'm going to walk away from that. That's enough of that one. Brian Wilson, Semper Fi. That's right. Yeah. I wasn't a Marine, but I certainly grew up under the hand of the Marine Corps. Absolutely. And some of the pilots, craziest, coolest people you have ever met. Absolutely. Anyway, let's see. That's Dave Rooney. Make them all for Air Force pilots instead of Navy pilots. They'll stay drier. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully everybody stays drier. Let's see. Okay, Yamaha biker. Yamaha. I used to ride Husqvarna. Let's see. Run into the same problem with Chicago screws. Just use a mini hacksaw, cut them down, but need to be able to rethread. Yeah, if you do. Chicago screws are almost exactly the same thing. But they're more common, like I think it's quarter, 3/8, and half. And I'm pretty sure we have longer. Only because we now have acquired Ohio Travel Bag. And if I remember correctly, they sell aluminum Chicago screws up to like 2 inches. Don't hold me to that. That was a long time ago. Now they're aluminum, right? But for most projects, that's going to be fine. But yeah, you can trim those down. Absolutely. But yeah, like you say, you got to be able to rethread those. And not a lot of us do. Oh, Grandpa's place. I'm glad you're jumping in there. Thank you. It sounds like you're answering a question. Let's see, Daniel J. If I line a holster with suede, can I still wet form, or would I have to try to drop the liner in after? Actually, Danielle, sorry about that. Anyway. With a holster, technically, if you're going to line a holster, the best way to do this is to wet form the holster, the outside of the holster, then come in. Once it's wet form, then come in and drop in your liner, your suede or whatever, because that actually helps it stay formed. But the bigger thing, if you're using a veg tan liner on the inside, if you wet form that after you put the liner on that, when you bend that in, it's going to ripple right across that throat. It's going to ripple. Yeah, nothing you can do about it. It's just the way it is. But if you go in after you wet form, you're not going to have that issue. So the higher end will do that. I've never done that. It's kind of a trick. It's really kind of a trick to line after you wet form. Plus your sizing. It's going to throw your sizing off a little bit. It's like if you're using a suede, because you got a 3 to 4, you're going to double that. I mean, think about it. You're adding like a 7 to 8 ounce. Combine both sides, you're adding like a 7 to 8 ounce to the inside of that holster. Now your welt is probably going to take care of that, but it's a little bit iffy there. But also too, if you use like we've got what's called a kip skin. It's like a 2 to 3 ounce veg. They're gorgeous. I don't even like to put glue. The flesh side is so pretty. I don't even like to add glue onto that velvet. I know it is. Anyway, that's only like a 2 to 3 ounce. So all told, when you go down to that weight, you're really not adding a whole lot of extra to it. And that's a little bit easier. But still, even that lightweight, it's going to ripple around that throat when you go to wet form it if you add your liner before you wet form. So hopefully, I hope that's an answer. And Danielle, I'm sorry about that. It's the rudest thing you can do is call somebody by the wrong name. But I hope it is good information. I hope it helps. Yeah, okay, Grandpa's place. Um, suede is typically a chrome tan. That's exactly right. Now, it's the one rule of thumb always, and this is Grandpa's place. This is exactly what you're talking about. The rule in leather always has been we do not make a holster or a knife sheath or sword scabbard out of chrome tans because they're going to affect the metals. That's changed. And you can see I still have a little trouble grasping the fact that it's changed. And what I've heard, this is simply just hearsay, is that both the tannage, quality of tannage has increased, but also the finish on a gun. The metals used in guns and knives have increased as well. So it's not the issue that it used to be. I used to sell rivets. When I was in a retail store, I used to sell rivets to a gentleman that was just a holster maker. If I remember correctly, he bought 2,000, not rivet snaps, line 24s. He bought about 2,000 line 24 snaps a month, along with suede. So I know he was doing a bunch of holsters. He lined every holster with suede. Every holster. I always used to ask him about that, and he'd say, "No, it's not really a deal anymore." But, big but here. Moisture will absolutely be an issue with chrome on metal. It's a good idea not to line like a gun caddy or a rifle scabbard like with a shearling. Best possible protection for a firearm, absolutely. And if it never is near moisture, it's no issue. But if moisture gets down into that shearling, it may never dry out. A gun goes in there one day, 24 hours, it's going to affect the finish on that gun. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. If you don't ever expect your firearm to be near moisture or in the rain, or I've got a gun belt, and in the satellite video, I talk about this because with the satellite, I was at an event, and when you see the video, you're going to go, heard all this. But the point is, beautiful gun belt. It's one that hangs on the set. It's the brown one. It's tooled, formed, something. It was laying on the tailgate of my truck. I was at an event. Something was laying on half of the belt. I don't know which half. I don't remember. It started to pour. I mean, just out of nowhere, it was pouring. Half of that gun belt got totally soaking wet, ruined. No, absolutely. Actually, when it dried out, you can't even tell it was wet. You can't even tell it was wet. Anyway, where was I going with that? See, when that happens, I at least hope there's good information in there that can be taken until I just talk myself into a dead end. Ah, man. Oh, Philip York. Philip is with us because, bloopers caught my eye. I have one. I don't. Those are hard. They're hard to do because I either either I stop shooting when I'm shooting. When I screw something up, I stop shooting and I go over and I pull up that project on the side and look. It kind of blows my train of thought, right? Um, or the alternative is to go back through all this video, right? To go through, I mean, some of these files can be, 20 minutes or so, and to comb through all of those is so time consuming. But I'm caught up. I'm almost 4 weeks ahead. So maybe that's actually a possibility. But Philip, thank you nonetheless for bringing that up. That for putting that back, foremost in my mind. We need to do something like that because I have a lot of them. I just don't want y'all to see most of them. Not really. Not really. The project we start with is always, as a rule, the project we finish with. I don't switch them out. I've heard of people doing that. I don't switch them out. Um, Now there's an exception there, and Angry Cow comes to mind. If does anybody watch the Angry Cow? Is a journal with the Angry Cow on it. Um, while painting that, I think we painted like 8 colors in. So I painted each color, shot it, edited the whole thing together, came back, no pink. No pink scene. Crap. It was not nowhere to be found. I don't know if I just didn't record. Anyway. The point is, where I'm going with this is a long story short, is that I had to bring another one up to that point, paint it and everything, paint in the pink, and then we came back to the original project. So if something like that happens, I might, and I'll do my best not to, nobody can really tell. But the point is, and I try to keep this rule, the project we start with is the one we finish with, whether we got mistakes or screw ups or what, because if we screw it up, we're going to learn, hey, don't do this. And that's part of the whole process, So, okay. So anyway, let's move on here. Um, the time is just flying by. It's flying by. It really is. Um, let's do this so we don't get too far behind. All right. So just a couple of videos. Let's do, in fact, you know what? We've been talking videos. How about notes from the boss? Because big announcement. Let's see if I can find these. It's only 4 pages. What? All right, news from the boss. Okay. For right now, 10% off all Edgework supplies with promo code EDGE10. EDGE10. The grand opening. We have an official date for the grand opening. Now, we've got a retail store. It's operating right now, but we got a big grand opening. Going to be a food truck, and we're going to teach classes and probably be some demos. We're going to make a big to-do of it. Now, a lot of us, probably most of us, unable to get to the retail store. And I'm 600 miles away. Excuse me. I'm 600 miles away. I would go though, because it's, well, first off, Weaver. I mean, it's there tours and class. You get to see the retail store. But that's only part of the weekend. Like if you make it a weekend or second half of your week, because you're going right in the middle of Amish country. Oh, it's beautiful farmland, great little towns, good food, bakeries. Oh, don't get me started on the bakeries. If you go, there's a bakery in town that they have something called a snuggle. I'm not, oh man, and white trash. Okay, I know that sounds offensive. Yeah, whatever. Oh, okay, so they lay out a cookie sheet. Did I talk about this last week? Because I'm such a, anyway, I think we went into this last week. But for those of you who weren't here, I'm not going to leave you hanging. What it is pretzels and M&Ms and peanuts, and those little wafer things. I can't ever remember the name of these. You put them in a mix at Christmas and you pour a little Worcestershire on it, those things. And they cover it in white chocolate and then break it up in a bag. Oh, man. I can do a bag in one sitting. Anyway, the point is, it's just a great weekend. So if you get a chance to go, or even for not the grand opening, if you ever get a chance to go, please do. We're going to have tours of the plant. You can get just a full day of immersion into Leathercraft. So the point is, we're kind of excited about this because it's been 3 years that we've been playing. I think now the boss may correct me on this one. I think we started planning this in 2019 for like July 4th weekend. Somewhere in there was going to be our grand opening. Um, and it got delayed just because there's so much to do. So it got delayed to the fall. Somewhere in there is when this COVID thing started to hit. So 2 years go by. Sorry if we're overexcited, but it's been almost 3 years. This has been in the planning. And my boss, she's really done a lot of work on this. Not to mention all the people we built the racking in our shop, in our metal shop, the racking, and it's beautiful. We got a classroom. And so the point is that we're kind of excited about this because it's been so long in the coming, and the prep work and the planning and the doing. Just for those who aren't able to make it, I hate that. I really do. But maybe there's a chance you can make it. And if it's successful, who knows what's down the road? Maybe we could have one pop up here and there too. I would run one. If we ever wanted to put a retail store in Atlanta, I would be happy to run that store. I absolutely would. So we'll talk about that. But nonetheless, big news, grand opening. Hey, Chuck, how about some dates? Yeah, we've met, right? Wouldn't that be right? Anyway, okay. So it's May 11th through the 13th, and that's a 30, right? Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. On Saturday, it's just till noon. So that's May 11th, 12th, and 13th. Details to come. Yeah, even the boss put a little happy face. So details to come. So, we're gonna fill you in on that one. Yeah, and I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll help in the store. Or I'm probably gonna teach a class. Surely gonna do some demos. I will do some demos, and stop calling me Shirley. All right, we got a new leather in, and the boss said, let's see, you may want to order some of this before talking about it. Yeah, you can tell I pay attention to the boss, right? But this will be an awesome new leather that we want to talk about. Western Crunch leather is live on the site. Western Crunch leather. I think there's 5 colors, maybe 4 colors. I don't know. But anyway, I got some on order. So the next time we get together, I'll give you a full update on this leather, but it looks beautiful. Can't wait to go into so many. There's just not enough time in the day to do. Okay, so here's another one I want to do this video so bad because this is, and I'm not wearing a belt. I took my belt. Do you believe there are probably 40 belts in my damn shop and I'm not wearing a belt? What is wrong with me? That's not including what's in our yeah, because I make belts. You ought to see our closet. Anyway, the point is, I want to do this belt so bad. Okay. So there it is. Yeah, I got to hold it right. What it is I've got a brown one here. We might could see that a little better. It's okay. We've got the tool. I haven't brought up the hair cell or the hair blade tool. We've got it. We've got anyway. Yeah, we just did the video on that. I think it was last Friday. The one thing you've got to have to do really good feathers, the hair blade tool. Anyway, so it's a feather belt. We tool a feather in this, and then we filigree cut through that, bring a second color through. Now, the brown, that's really pretty because on this one, I want to paint these feathers. I want to do hawk feathers, or you could do multiple different birds. Anyway, the point is, and I'll notice the spots. To me, this just after seeing the spots on this one, it just looks like it's missing something, right? I love spots. I mean, right? We didn't see that one coming, but no, that bright. So I don't know. Anyway, this is coming up soon only because I get so many compliments on this belt. I get them. I'm not gonna say I get compliments everywhere I go, but I get them regularly. So we got to do this belt. Tapered buckle set. Oh, now the downside, it's a 3-ply. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that because I'd like to lay in a second color, to bring out for the filigree cut, but we don't really want to use suede on the inside of our belt. Now we can. It's just suede's got grip, so it's hard to if you ever try to take off a belt that's suede, yeah, that's a perfect example of suede and its ability to grip. So to keep everybody from having to buy 3 weights of leather to do this, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out maybe some kind of a chrome, that we could flip so that we have top grain in, we have flesh side showing through the filigree, and then our top grain out on our tooled side. So I think that's what we're going to do. Anyway, I just want to bring that up because, again, there's so many, there's, it's overwhelming. It really is. It's overwhelming. I'll send an email to the boss and say, hey, I'm working on my next set of videos, and I'll send her 3 or 4 ideas. And she'll say, well, these sound great. Here's 3 or 4 more. Oh, crap. Oh, no, there's more. So I'll go over, write those on my board too. So, anyway. Okay, anyway. So, we were going to talk. We do this, thing for the new folks, help the new folks out with something that tripped us up along the way, something we didn't know along the way. And I wrote down making patterns. Now, there's 2 directions on making patterns. Actually, just buying a pattern. Everybody's selling patterns. You can buy a pattern pack and make one. More the point here is that instead of going that route, let's make our own pattern. Because now it's ours. Okay. Well, just to come up with a pattern out of the blue, that's a little bit tough. So here, look for, like, say, purse and bag, because I've got a sample over here. All right. I want to make a certain purse. I love this look of the purse. I love this brand of purse. Their decorations or something. Well, we don't have to copy that, but let's use that as a jumping off point. Let's make it similar, but totally ours. Now, okay, here's where I'm going with this. We don't want to copy product, right? That's morally, principally, legally, it's an issue. We don't have to. There's so many gazillion ways we can go with any product out there that there's no reason we have to copy somebody else's design. The second part of that, let's take that basis and make it our own. Well, first off, let's add the spots we like. Let's add the leather we like. Do we like straps? Do we like buckles? Do we like fringe? Already, we've got a totally new, different design. It's totally ours. But also, it becomes more indicative of us because we pick the leather we like, the buckles we like, the spots we like, and the paint or the top coat. So it wholly becomes ours. It may resemble that original product, but it is totally ours. We have no issue with principles, morals, or legal, right? Nothing. It is totally ours, and we can be absolutely proud of that. Okay, sample of that. My wife saw a bag online. She said, boy, I love that. Can you make something like that? It's kind of a higher end bag. So I said, yeah, let me play with it, work with it. So she's been asked if this is one of their bags. But so I made this bag. Well, their bag didn't have this cool little bottom piece. Their bag didn't have the straps that circle around it. In fact, we've done a video on the purse, right, with the diamond cutout with a snake in it. It kind of comes from the same place. But the fringe, I love the fringe. That purse had no fringe on it whatsoever. The handles, I love the trunk handles. They're so easy to make. If I remember correctly, that just had two basic straps. I can't remember, but it's similar, but it's a whole different animal now. I mean, somebody that looks at the two side by side might go, well, they're similar, but they're not at all. So that's the point. We don't have to copy. We don't have to copy. Now, our time's running out, but I want to bring up a tale of woe. And here's kind of the other side of that. So when I sold Leathercraft, when I was in a retail store, we had a person, I'm not going to name anybody. Do you believe that I still remember this? It irked me so badly. I still remember this. Anyway, one of our customers come in, sweetest thing you've ever met, loved her to death. She comes in and says, hey, so-and-so is making my exact designs on his website. She said, I know he was in here. That person was in here. And I was telling him what I was doing. He copied my designs exactly. Well, when somebody in our shop looked at it, everything on that person's website was something somebody in our shop, or it was one of our customers, was making. It was just, so we knew that he, quote, became the knockoff king. I had a big customer come in one time, and he was there by chance. And I took her in the back and wrote a little note and says, knockoff king, say nothing. Bless her heart. And it was so absurd. The guy kept saying, well, so what do you make? I mean, he wouldn't leave her alone. Well, what do you make? Well, where can I see some of your products? And it was so totally obvious that he was trying to get her designs to sell on his site. Irked me to no end. Oh, I'm just a crafter. Oh, I don't really do anything. I mean, she played it. Bless her heart. Hallelujah. Just that irked me to no end. He just ripped off everybody he saw and he started making their products. If you can't design your own products, you don't need to have a company. Right? Right. Does anybody, can I hear a hallelujah on that one? If you can't do your own thing, there's no reason you should be out there. So, anyway, that's kind of the point of it. When you work on your own, absolutely take something somebody else has made, but just use that as a jumping off point. Make it your own. You will always be proud of your work, and it will be indicative of your work. One of the coolest things I've ever heard is, "Hey, that looks like Chuck's work." Bing! Yeah, I tell you what, I inhaled on that for a week. I no kidding. So anyway, so for the new folks, make it your own. Make it your own and start from scratch. Patterns are not tough to make, but start easy. Just start easy and work your way up from there. You'll get it in no time. With a little experience behind you, both making the pattern and making the product that comes from the pattern, you get experience on both sides and that'll snowball fast for you. So anyway, it's enough about that. Enough about that. And that clock is just a ticking. It's ticking. So, okay, what else we got over here? Oh, we got to look at one more thing. Okay, just because it's cool, right? So, when I first was working leather years ago, I mean, this is like 40 years ago, right? I'm a big camper, always been a big camper. My first camp out, I was negative 6 weeks old. Yeah, that takes a minute to kind of figure that one out, right? Anyway, somewhere in my early years, in my 20s, so 40 years ago now, I made anybody hear of the game Pente? Does anybody remember Pente? It's a great game. You literally just try to get 5 beads in a row. Super easy to learn. I mean, there's like 3 rules, but you can get extremely complicated. Anyway, the point is, I made a board out of just a piece of leather to go in my camp box. And at that time, I wasn't sewing. So I bought this little cinch pouch. I surely bought this. Again, don't call me Shirley. It had to be in the mid 80s at a rent fair. And anyway, these are little stones, and I'll just not to hide anything, but let's see if I can get this open. You can find these little glass beads anyway. Anyway, Pente, it's a great game, but you just use these little glass beads. Yeah, these little guys, and you can find these most any craft store. But the point is, 40 years, and we're still using this game board on campouts. You believe that? How cool is that? Leather, it just goes and goes and goes. And there's so many things we can make out of it and use from here on out. So, okay, let's see. Let's make sure. All right, one more thing. Since we got a little segue here, I have not been watching these at all. Y'all. We need to do a day. We don't do any of this. All right, I'm coming down 7 minutes. All right, product of the week. Quick one. Oh man. This is our top of the line revolving punch or rotary punch. Goes by both names. It's expensive, but worth every penny. Now, if you're new to Leathercraft or you're not really up to speed on your revolving punch, here's the problem with revolving punches. We all own the cheap one. I still have cheap ones in my shop. The point is that when you get a cheap one, it's going to work for you. Absolutely. Over time, this is called the anvil, and this is a tube. These come in different sizes, right? So over time, both are going to start to wear on us. Well, what happens is eventually you're going to get a little nick in the tube, in the cutting surface of the tube, or on your anvil. You're going to get a little spot there. So what's going to happen is you're going to punch, and that little, I'm not going to tell you what I call it, plug. That little plug comes out. It stays in the leather. Now you got to put the revolving. Got to get all, pull it out, and probably have to rip it off of the back because of the. Okay, so my point there is as you use these, I just got into the habit of twisting, punch and twist. Now I had somebody come along and say, "Oh, You shouldn't have to do that. Technically, no. Technically, no. In the perfect world, which I don't live in, right? So over time, if your revolving punch is not punching the hole, punch and twist a little bit. That should shear off that little piece and it'll come right out. Um, but also to me, I feel like if I twist it, I burnish a little bit. Probably not enough to make a difference, but nonetheless, it'll burnish it a little bit. Where I'm going with that is this. You will buy this and it'll be the last revolving punch you ever buy because remote replaceable anvil. In my life, I've only seen one brand of revolving punch that had a replaceable anvil, and that was 30 years ago. It was 30 years ago. So you can replace your anvil. You can replace your tubes. Best thing about this is we've got 6 sizes on our tubes here. I don't use 6 sizes. I typically will use, and these are actually marked. I can't read them right now. But anyway, so somewhere around here is the only one I use for rivets. Somewhere up here is the only one I use for lace or Chicago screws. Well, the point is that those two are going to wear down and the others aren't. So now you can replace those two. What I'll do is sometimes I'll only have 3 sizes on here. I have like 2 large, 2 medium, 2 small. But the point is you can replace your tubes. On this, you can replace this little spring. And I think you can replace this little arm. I think you can replace both of these. The point is you can replace everything that gets wear and tear on this product. But at the same time, this thing's heavy. Yeah, that is a solid piece of help. And the reason I say, I know my words, because I'm talking fast. We're running out of time. Because there's so many things to say if you're not really totally up to speed on a revolving. The point is with your cheaper, lighter ones, they're just bent like bar stock, right? They're lightweight. They're going to work for us. The weight is a big help when you're punching holes. Now, for us with a little experience, I can punch holes for an hour and not get tired. Like say we're going to lace a product, right? When you're new, that's not going to happen. You're going to get tired right here and right here. Okay. Well, with that weight, that's going to extend the amount of time that you're able to punch because you got that mass working for you. Anyway, product of the week. It's our top end revolving punch. It's expensive. I will tell you that. It's expensive, but it is worth every penny. We'll use this so long we won't remember what it cost. Okay, so product of the week. I get to keep my job. Okay, yay. There's so many. Y'all forgive me. I haven't even looked at these. I've been talking. I hope it's good information, though. I mean, I hope it's good information. And for everybody that helps out, thank you for helping out more than you know. Let's see. Kay Mersman. Let's see. Have a cheap puncher. Really need to get that one. Yeah, it's a good one. Now, the next step up or the next step down, if that's out of our budget, we're crafters. Profit isn't driving the whole thing. The German made. We have a German made. It's drop forged, so it's that big heavy. The tubes are replaceable. The anvil isn't, but I love that one too. And the compound. If you don't have the strength that you feel like you need, we've got a compound revolving punch that helps too. That one, top of the line. Okay, so let's see, Leather Action 1. Y'all, thank you. That's the one thing I hate most. Well, first off, not answering the questions, or not replying to the comments, but just saying hello. Just saying hello to everybody that has taken time out of your day to spend this time with the rest of us. So, the Beetle guy. Let's see. Any tips for working with oil tanned leather? No. It's a hard one. I love the oil tans. I love them. The only thing is that they resist everything. You can't, when I worked in a retail store, we had to staple the SKU label on it because the adhesive that would glue two cinder blocks together. And the oil resists everything. Paint, top coat. But it's beautiful. Okay. My one piece of advice is I would be cautious about purse and bag. Things that we're going to use during the day, because if an oily piece of leather, and this is a big one, we're going to run over here, but it's a major point. Heavily oiled leathers. Think of this. I know I live in Atlanta, in the South. It can be hot here. Like with a purse, in a car, on a hot summer day, if somebody puts a purse or a briefcase or a journal cover on a seat on a hot day, that oil is going to wick out of that leather. It's going to stain whatever it is on, and it will never come back out. You can't even stack highly oiled leathers next to veg tan because all that oil will transfer. I love it. There's a lot of, just be careful with it. Put it by itself on your shelf. Maybe don't leave it laying on your work table too long. Things like, now I'm talking about a highly oiled leather. But lighter weights, they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I might reserve those for outdoor. Anything that's going to be out in the elements. So, okay. Oh, y'all, they're just coming in faster than I can answer. It looks like we're going over a little bit today, but y'all, if I didn't see your name, please forgive me on that one. I wish I could. We probably need to do one of these where we don't do anything but the comments, and I'd be happy to do that. So y'all, Dylan, Tim Hubbard, Night for Today, JR Time, Chris Gould, Ralph Morrow, Dan Man. Thank you for making this what it is. Thank you for making this what it is. I think we looked at everything. I think we've talked about as much as we possibly can squeeze in 1 hour. More than anything, I hope it's a fun time for you. I hope it's a fun time. Hope you get some good answers to your questions. Hope you put some good questions. Hope you answered somebody's question, gave somebody a boost of confidence. That's what the fan page is a big boost of confidence. So even if you're new to leather, don't hesitate at all to put a product up on the fan page. It doesn't matter if it's your first product. You're going to get a big boost of confidence, some oohs, some ahs. You're going to get some people that are going to say, hey, I'd like to try this or try this. Take that advice, try it on your next project. In no time at all, you will be a pro and you will be loving every minute of it. We have the best craft going. Hands down, I'm not biased. It's a simple fact. Simple fact. And the best people are in Leathercraft. So, all right, y'all, I feel like I'm starting to work into your time now, and it's been an absolute pleasure. We certainly just like Leathercraft. It's not a lack of stuff to talk about. There's too much to talk about, right? So, anyway, I think I got everything on that done. It has been an absolute blast to spend this time with y'all. JR Time. Maybe see about making a compilation video of fan page members' work. I got to write that down. It's marked and it's membered. All right. Y'all, that Brian Wilson as well. That's Brian. Michael, Bridget is there. Huzzah, Bridget. Ren Fair season coming up. Yeah. Y'all, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll wrap it up here. We got more. There's so much to talk about. We're going to put it off for 2 weeks. We'll be 2 weeks closer to summer. Hallelujah. But y'all, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for everything, every comment, every answer, every question. It just makes me smile to see everybody helping everybody out. Hallelujah for that. God bless all. Absolutely. So we'll be back together in 2 weeks. I'll see if I can find some fun stuff to talk about. We didn't even go into the videos I got coming up. I think we kind of touched on them, but we may have touched on them a little too much. But I hope we've got some good videos coming up. So, all right, y'all. Well, first off, good luck with your projects, right? We got to say that. But everybody have a great second half of your weekend coming up because it's hump day. Absolutely. So, y'all, hope it's been good information. I hope it's been a good time. It certainly has for me. We'll see you in 2 weeks. So, love y'all more than you know. God bless each and every one of you for being here. Hope you have something great on your work table, and I hope it comes out beautifully. I hope it comes out better than you expected. So we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all.